Friday Focus is back. This week, mobility warm-ups. Okay, we get a lot of questions in on what to do for warm-ups. Should I warm up? How should I warm up? But two questions that really stood out was on our Instagram or Snapchat stories, I put up my training sessions or a bit of programming, and I also put up my warm-ups. And a few people have sent in questions, Joe, why do you do this for your warm-up? Why do you do that for your warm-up? So I'm going to answer some of them questions in this. I also put out today on our Instagram stories a couple of options for the Friday Focus today, and warm-ups and mobility came back with a landslide victory, so that's where we're going to cover that today. Now, first of all, what I want to say is mobility and your warm-up should be two different things. You don't want to get into the sort of habit of stretching, foam rolling and wrapping bands around every part of your body for 35 to 40 minutes before every workout. Reason being is you've only got so much energy to dedicate to a workout. Would it not be better to dedicate all that to the actual training and as little of it as possible to the warm-up? Now, in saying that, what I will say is, depending on how well you move or how well you can get into certain positions will determine how much of this you actually have to do. And what I used to do with this was, I used to do 20 minutes a day, and I would sort of target different areas of the bodies. I'd split my body up into my upper body, thoracic spine, my hips, and then I would go for my ankles. And I'd rotate day to day and do about 20 minutes each day. I actually don't have time to do that anymore, and what I've noticed is since I stopped doing that, my mobility hasn't really changed. I've always moved quite well, so I was sort of doing all that just for maintenance, and it was probably a bit too much work just for maintenance. So the way you want to look at your own mobility work is, if you have got thoracic spine issues or issues in the hip or issues in the ankle, you need to spend a little bit of time outside of your training sessions fixing this, but it shouldn't be a major part of your warm-up. When I look at warm-ups, I'm looking for three things. I'm looking for increased blood flow and circulation, an elevated heart rate, and a little bit more heat in the extremities, okay, increasing core temperature. Moving on from that, some sample workouts that I have put up in their Instagram and Snapchat stories. I'm just going to explain why I do it and why it's a good idea to sort of split your upper and lower body, etc. So with the upper body workout, generally what I've been doing is, it looks something like this. I'm trying to accumulate 4 minutes of a passive hang from a bar. I got this idea from my coach at OPEX, Matt, but also from a doctor called John Hirsch. He wrote a book called Shoulder Pain, Its Prevention and Its Solution, and he outlines how much passive hangs or how healthy it can be for your shoulder joint and keeping your shoulder joints healthy. So I'm accumulating about 4 minutes of that per warm-up, and then I usually split it, started off maybe doing 20 seconds of a hang, 30 seconds rest, then increased it to 25 seconds, to 30 seconds, etc, etc. And I'm on to about 40 to 45 seconds now, with about 30 to 40 seconds rest in between hangs. And when I come down, I'll just do some skipping, again, just to get some blood flow going and get the core temperature up. And then at the end of that warm-up, I might do some planks, some side planks, and then some push-ups, and then I'm straight into the workout. Probably about 8 to 10 minutes max for a warm-up, and I'm good to go. Then when I look at sort of a typical lower body warm-up for me these days, it would be some sort of hip opener stretch. I have it in red, I always stretch out the hips, and just in case I've been sitting for any period of the day or in the Jeep for long periods of time driving in and out of town, I always stretch the hips. Then I go into a bit of a cobra stretch to loosen up the lower back, and then I do some cat-cows. If you don't know what cat-cows are, put them into Google. It's like a spinal mobilization drill. I always do them just to get some blood flow and heat into the spine. And then I might do some walking lunges and 3 minutes on the assault bike, again just to get the core temperature up and get some activation in the glutes and quads, etc. And then I go straight into my lower body warm-up, again about 8 to 10 minutes max, and leave as much energy as possible to dedicate to the workout. Now, outside of that, what I've been doing personally for my mobility work, outside of my training and my warm-ups, is I've been doing a lot of yoga. So we offer yoga at LinkedIn in Dublin, and I started yoga by jumping in a couple of them classes, and I really enjoyed it and really felt the benefit of it. And then I found something called Yoga for BJJ, and it's yoga designed to improve mobility for jiu-jitsu players. And I started doing this, and I'm doing about 10 minutes of this a morning, and I'm finding it really beneficial. and it's a lot more enjoyable for me personally to do 10 minutes of yoga in the morning rather than go into a gym and stretch for 10-15 minutes. I find it less boring, okay? So go on and check that out, especially if you're into your jiu-jitsu or you do some jiu-jitsu. It's a really, really good resource to keep you mobile. Now, another good resource I think you should have a read of. This is an article that I read on Breaking Muscle a few months ago. It's from Bob Decano, the weightlifting coach, and it's called Why You Should Warm Up Less. And he has in brackets like the Russians do. And I just thought it was a really, really interesting article. It really hit home for me, and I think it will, it'll give you some insight into the way you should warm up or why you shouldn't expend too much energy in your warm up. As always, guys, if you have any questions for the Friday Focus, send them in. We'll 100% get them answered for you.